Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. We're here looking back at the VRC Clio Cup, round one at Autopolis Short. So the Clio Cup is using the Renault Clio Cup V6 24V. The races, it's a 10-minute qualifying, which we obviously can't see, and then it's two races of 30 miles race distance. The first race is the grid after qualifying, and race 2 is the reverse results rolling start of the reverse results of race 1. I don't think there's really much to tell you, really. That's it. It's quite straightforward. Tuning is allowed because the gearboxes are awesome, and yeah, I think we should just get on with the race. This is at Autopolis, and the time of day for race 1 is 6:15 in the evening, and race 2 is at 7 o'clock in the evening. 16 laps, and let's just look at the grid and crack on. Yeah, there's not much of an intro on that one. Sorry, guys. Build up to nothing. Skyjacker in the chat saying, "Whoa, this will please my Emma." In joke, guys, in joke. So let's have a look at the grid then. Shiren sitting on pole in his Team 13 Clio, looking at cracking there. Then in second place we have the Ghetto Guesty in the Clio. It's all graffitied that up, that's lovely. In third place we have the Shiny Eye Bunting in his Clio. Why am I shuffling around? Sorry, I'm messing about with this controller. Fourth, a very clean looking Clio there for Cthulhu. In fifth on the grid we have a Jocus in a Williams replica Clio, it looks like. In sixth we have the GoPro Clio of Thingamajig. In seventh we have the M&M's Rivixter Clio. Then in eighth we have JTX in just the plain Renault, well, plain Renault's colours Clio. In ninth we have Flashman in the Michelin liveried Clio, and then in 10th we have Rido in the Fast Lane liveried Clio there. Beautiful stuff. So that's the grid. Sorry about that jerkiness, my controller is still abusing me. Let's get on with this race then. Standing starts for this first race. Shiren done all the work in qualifying. Can he make it pay? Sitting on the front of the grid here at Autopolis Short for this brand spanking new championship for the VRC, the Clio Cup. Now they're off. Shiren looking like he's having a great start. Guesty sluggish off the line. High Bunting maybe just as sluggish. Cthulhu pulling a little bit closer to them front guys. Joker's maintaining fifth with Thingamajig in sixth. Rivixter, no, Rivixter has made a move on Ooh, he's made a move on Jokers and Thingamajig, so Rivixter, great move into that first corner, late on those brakes, moving him up into fifth place. Shiren still leading. High Bunting has made it ahead of Guesty there, watch that, it's awful. So then top three battling it out with Cthulhu there in fourth there, for God's sakes. Rivixter is in fifth, trying to make it around. No, that's Jokers trying to come back out. Rivixter, sorry. Thingamajig in seventh place, just ahead of Flashman, with JTX in ninth and Rido in 10th. And the battle continues. It looks like Rido is really on the back of JTX. JTX jumped in last minute. Wasn't quite sure with the tunings, so he's on the back foot from the beginning. Shiren, though, on a tear out there in the lead. But you got a little wiggle on there. Bunting and Guesty all very close together, smashing stuff. Sitting in Guesty's car in third place as we head up to that first corner. Heavy braking. zone into that first corner. Anything could happen. Is anyone going to have a look? Bunting, he's going for it. He's late braked. As he late braked himself, he's going, and he keeps hold of it. Brilliant stuff there from Bunting, up now in the lead. But Shiren looking like he got a better drive out the corner, and Shiren now retakes the lead. And Guesty following Shiren. All three of them 3 wide as they come up to the next heavy braking zone. And Shiren still leads. And Bunting and Guesty have not decided. Guesty's had a little bit out there, and now Guesty's dropped down into third. Catula just behind these guys in a steady 4th place as they battle it out for the lead. Joker's in 5th, staying with the group. Rivixter has been caught up by Thingamajig. Oh, Rivixter's been overtaken by Jokers, it seems, and now Thingamajig is coming at the M&M's Clio. And Rivixter just maintaining that inside line as Thingamajig's trying to go around the outside, but there's just no room there, and he tucks back in. With JTX maintaining that 8th place ahead of Rido, and it's Flashman that's dropped back. Flashman's dropped back quite a way. He must have lost the car. And Shiren is leading from Guesty. Guesty now ahead of Bunting. That must have been a move. We'll have a look. Oh, sorry, that was a bit too much. So Guesty sitting in 3rd, up Bunting's rear end, being followed closely by Jokus and Catula. And he looks like he's lining him up into the final corner. Heavy onto those brakes, up the inside, and it's a beautiful move by Guesty there to grab 2nd place from Bunting, whilst Shiren pulls away from the battling Clios. Catula pulling ever closer to those guys in front. What a battle. And that is lap 2 done. And we start lap 3 of 16. Plenty of racing to go yet. Bunting there in 3rd, with Catula in 4th, Jokus in 5th. Skyjacker, hail to the controller, he says in the chat. Joker's there, he's dropped away from Catula a little bit. Rivixter still being harried by Thingamajig. Thingamajig looking like he's trying to make a move now. Or is this the same move we looked at when I realised Guesty had made a move? No, I think this is it. Thingamajig committing, and he's in there up into 6th. Rivixter down into 7th now, but Rivixter trying to have another look at the GoPro Clio, but there's nothing there, and Thingamajig slowly edges away from the M&M's Clio there as it tries to fight back. JTX still fending off Rido. They're having a grand battle there for 8th and 9th. Flashman on a comeback after having a small off. Shiren leading now handsomely, but Guesty edging closer with Bunting in tow. These 3, nothing between it. Nothing between them, pace-wise. But so far, Shiren for Team 13 has led the whole race so far, with Guesty and Bunting battling out for that 2nd and 3rd place. Catula ever getting closer, with Jokus just behind him. Thingamajig's just got himself ahead of Rivixter, but it looks like Rivixter in the tow is going to try and make a move into the 1st corner. And Rido, it looks like behind him, has also got ahead of... Oh, there we go, it's close between the 2 of them, but Thingamajig maintains that 6th, just ahead of Rivixter. And oh no, Rido's had an off. We see Rido is ahead of JTX. He made the move finally to get ahead of the Flying Finn, and here he goes into the 1st corner, and he's just late braked himself there. He's out braked himself, and wow, JTX only just holding on to his car as well in 8th place. Shiren still leading though from Guesty and Bunting. Let's get on board with Bunting to see it from his point of view. Cracking stuff here from Autopolis Short in these nippy little Renaults. As you can see, he's up to about 90 miles an hour through that corner, hitting the top. Beautiful, no lift. I was having to lift a slight little bit into that corner, but Bunting getting his setup just right. Heavy into the brakes, these top 3 as fast as each other. Bunting got the fastest lap last time around behind Guesty with a 1:17.753. Catula in 4th, Joker's in 5th, Thingamajig in 6th, Rivixter in 7th, JTX in 8th place. And there is absolutely nothing in it between the leaders, with Shiren now. Guesty on the attack against Shiren. Shiren's lost the car. Shiren lost the back end of the car. Guesty gets through. Guesty gets through to take the lead. iBunting also up in second place. And Shiren, oh, poor Shiren. One small mistake. And he is down into third place from leading most of the way. And now Guesty is taken over the lead from iBunting, but iBunting is right on the attack now to try and take the lead of this first Clio Cup race. Shiren down into third, just hanging that Clio out onto the mud. And Joker's fourth. Joker's has moved up. Catula's dropped. So, let's have a quick Scooby-Doo. What happened to Catula there? So Catula on lap 5, he goes out wide in that first corner, and he drops behind Joker's. He's got back on, and Thingamajig managing also to get past as Catula gets back up to speed, and Rivixter also catching up Catula. And Catula now dropping down into 7th place behind Rivixter and just ahead of JTX. JTX got a 1:19.1, so he's getting the hang of these Clios and the setups. Catula, his last lap, he was on a push, he was trying to fight, he could have caught up Shiren at some point, possibly with Shiren's bad lap that last time around. Guesty and iBunting still battling it out now. Guesty has the fastest lap with a 17.218. Is iBunting gonna try and pull a move into this first corner? We saw a bit of tyre smoke coming off of Guesty into the corner. He late braked it as much as he dared, and he maintains the lead ahead of iBunting, but it's a close battle between the two of them. Shiren dropping away from that battle now with Jokers in 4th. A fair distance behind Shiren, with Thingamajig now in 5th place, and he looks like he's catching Jokers. Jokers' last lap at 18.496. Thingamajig at 17.9. So Thingamajig starting to find a little bit of pace in that Clio and catching up with Jokers just ahead of him. Is there another position to be made here? Rivixter in 6th, still ahead of Catula in 7th. JTX in 8th place. He did an 18.8 his last time around, so the car is coming to him. Rido's fallen back even further, and now he's in a battle with Flashman for 9th and 10th in those Clios, fighting up and down the... Oh no, what's happened to Guesty? Guesty's dropped away from iBunting. Oh, he went on that same bit of dirt that Shiren discovered, but got right out of it, and he lost at first position. Dropped down into 2nd. Can Shiren catch him up? While Guesty regains his composure there, taking it too deep into the first corner. We've seen a lot of them doing that, especially the top 3, really pushing each other to the extremes. I think these 3 are championship contenders. Joker's there having an absolute great race, keeping it nice and consistent, and he's up into 4th, just off of the podium, but Thingamajig seems to be catching him on track. Behind them you've got Rivixter ahead of Catula. Catula looking all around Rivixter for a way past. We saw that Catula has got good pace in that Clio. He's a little bit out of position from making a mistake, but they're very difficult. All the cars are pretty similarly paced to each other, even though tuning is used. So to get a move on, it takes a little time to build it up and make the move happen. But Catula leading down this straight, trying to grab that toe, get edge closer to Rivixter. As you can see, Thingamajig and Joker's just there ahead of these guys, battling it out. And Catula, you can see, has got a little closer to Rivixter there on track. So iBunting, he looks like he's pulled a little bit more away from Guesty. Now Guesty looks like he seems to be under threat from Shiren. Shiren is coming back to try and grab that 2nd spot in this race as a consolidation prize, as he led for the first 5 or so laps. We're on lap 7, we're not even halfway through this race yet. Unbelievable stuff. Jokers is ahead of Thingamajig. Thingamajig an 18.7 last time round, with a 19.5 from Jokers. So Jokers He's losing a bit of pace to Thingamajig pulling him in, and Rivixter has dropped Cthulhu must have made a small mistake, but Rivixter's last lap an 18.3, but there you can see Cthulhu's back on his tail then, an 18.1 last time around from Cthulhu, and Cthulhu is setting up Rivixter there for a bit of a battle. JTX all on his own out there at the moment. And then you've got Flashman. He seems to have pulled away from Rido. Rido, must have made he did an 18.8 last time around, but he's dropped away from Flashman, and Flashman now up into 9th position. Bunting leading from Guesty, who's ahead of Shiren. It's a cracking race then so far. We're halfway through lap 8 of 16. And we've seen the lead change 3 times already, but it seems they've spaced themselves out now. And it's going to be a tough battle for anyone to try and catch up Bunting at this point. Jokers now is definitely under threat from Thingamajig. Thingamajig are really there. Oh God, wrong button. Thingamajig all up on his tail and looking for a way past 8 laps to go. And you can see Thingamajig has got the pace advantage, although Jokers did an 18.3 his last lap. And whilst these two are battling, you can see Rivixter and Cthulhu in the distance. There's Thingamajig right on the tail. He's pulled out to make a move, but he's just too far back. He needs a bit more of a toe than that, does Thingamajig. Is he going to try and late break it down into the first corner? No, he's tucked back in. He knows he pulled out too early there of the toe. And now Joker's breaking into that first corner, as is Thingamajig. They're trying to make their way around. They're both through the corner. Rivixter just ahead of Cthulhu. There's battling up and down the field there. And it looks like Joker's an 18.8 last time around from Joker's. Thingamajig managing an 18.4. Rivixter an 18.0. Rivixter on a push there with Cthulhu doing a 17.9. So these are pushing like balls out there for 5th, 6th, 4th. And Thingamajig again having a look at Jokers, but Jokers just enough to stay ahead of Thingamajig. Bunting there, he's got a lovely little bit of a lead cushion there. Guesty is ahead of Shiren quite happily. Oh, Shiren is off the track. Shiren is off the track, and they've got this train coming through. Jokers in 4th, Thingamajig in 5th, Rivixter in 6th, Cthulhu there in 7th position, and they're all sharing the same part of the tarmac. And Shiren with his off, it looks like he's dropped back closer to him, but they're too busy battling each other, and Rivixter's off. Rivixter having an off there. Oh, poor Rivixter out wide on the last corner, and now Cthulhu is up into 6th, hunting down these pair, battling it out. Jokers and Thingamajig as they're chasing down Shiren, but Shiren's pace today. And Thingamajig's left it a bit later, but no, there's nothing there. He can't get a pull through that corner. He's having a look though all the way up the inside, but no, Joker's just ahead of Thingamajig. Thingamajig looking one side, then the other side. Impatient driving from Thingamajig. He's desperate. He can see Shiren just there. He can see a podium in the first race of the Clio Cups, and he fancies it, but Jokers is there saying, "You shall not pass, my friend." That's my teammate there. They're both Team 13. Oh, a little knock there from Thingamajig, I think. And that gives Cthulhu the position. Thingamajig knocking Cthulhu into the hairpin. No, Thingamajig knocking Jokers into the hairpin, having to back off. And Cthulhu gets that 5th place from Thingamajig now. And Thingamajig's pushing like hell off the track, on the track. Mad with himself. There's Rivixter also making that same. Oh, and Rivixter's lost the back end altogether. Is this a position for JTX? He's not far away, and Flashman also catching him up. So 7th place for JTX. Flashman. There's Rivixter. Flashman gets up into 8th. He was last on the first lap, and he's made up 2 positions in this race. More maybe. I saw JTX locking up. No, it's okay. JTX still ahead of Flashman, but they're pretty close together. So on lap 11, Bunting is leading from Guesty. They're very close together, but Bunting needs to make a mistake to help Guesty out in this situation. Shiren dropping further back because of the off that we saw him have. Joker's there under threat from Cthulhu. Cthulhu not messing around like Thingamajig. He's right in there. The Joker's late on the brakes. Tyre smoke all up in that business. And Cthulhu fighting hard for that 4th position. Thingamajig in 6th. a little bit back from this battle, and there's Catula again having another look up the side of Jokers. Are they side by side yet? No, Joker's still maintaining that 4th place from Catula, but Catula's throwing everything he's got at him. Great racing here between the Spaniard and the Pole. And Jokers' defending is amazing stuff out there. iBunting still leading from Guesty. iBunting just posting a 17.8 with Guesty a 17.5. So Guesty is edging closer to Bunting. Shiren there, an 18.8, with Jokers still ahead of Catula. Thingamajig just behind those guys in 6th position. JTX in 7th, but he's got Flashman catching him up in these latter stages of the race. So Flashman is going to be under attack before the end of the race, with Flashman crossing the line with an 18.6 and a 20.5 there from JTX, still trying to get a hold of this Clio. Arido has ended up ahead of Rivixter, but Rivixter's not too far behind Arido, with still 4 laps to go, and may be able to catch him up and get himself a bit of a race on. iBunting in the chat. I'm changing the name to Bunting, saves you saying I all the time. No, iBunting's alright, I like it, it's like iPhone. I like to call everything I. I'm going to drink my I latte. iBunting in first against iGuesty. It's when you and IR Graham start racing each other is when I'm going to be all iBunting, IR Graham. iBunting, IR Graham. I was going to do it then. iBunting leading the way ahead of Guesty with Shiren in 3rd place. Could have been in that battle, made a couple, just 2 small mistakes, and look at it. This is how tight it is. Joker's still defending from Catula. It looks like oh, Joker's late on the brakes there into the corner, and he's pulled some time, but Catula dropping behind Thingamajig. Oh my word, I'm sorry. It might be a bit of, because it's me, but I don't know. Oh, I think there was a knock. I think Catula did exactly the same as what Thingamajig did in that hairpin. Give Jokers a bit of a nudge, and had to back off, and that gave Thingamajig the opportunity to get back ahead up into 5th place. Some very gentleman driving down here between these 3, Jokers against Thingamajig and Catula. I say Jokers just keeps getting banged in the back and thinks, what are you doing behind there? Race it or leave it, but stop knocking it. So Jokers, an absolute roadblock. The man is impossible to overtake. Catula having a go after Thingamajig had a go. Now Thingamajig's back on the case again, knocking on the Clio's rear bumper to try and get past. We're on lap 13 of 16. iBunting crossing the line, a 17.9 from iBunting. Guesty a 17.6, so Guesty is on a last attack, 2 laps to go, and he is pushing like balls. Shiren in that 3rd place there. Looks like that's the best he's going to get today with the podium, an 18.2 from him. Joker's now under threat from Thingamajig. Thingamajig again pulling out of that toe way too early, it seems. And Catula sticking, but he's going for it. Thingamajig on the brakes. No, he's had to really heavy on the brakes there. Jokers gets through. Catula's weaving around behind Thingamajig, trying to find a way to get past. But I think Catula had to really back out of that one to avoid hitting Thingamajig. And Jokers there breathes a sigh of relief as he pulls away from Thingamajig and Catula. They're going to battle this out now for the rest of the race. Flashman has caught up JTX. Looks like he's made the move, but JTX coming back. Let's just have a quick look. Oh no. So here we go. Flashman coming up the start straight. Lap 14. Did an 18.6 his last time around with JTX, doing a 19.1, and there goes Flashman under brakes, trying to look up the inside of JTX. JTX taking the corner pretty well. They have a bit of a bang, and Flashman there moving up into 7th, but JTX coming back at the Michelin-clad Clio as these 2 battle it out for 7th and 8th. Rido now ahead of Rivixter. Rivixter all up in Rido's business. trying to find a way past. Everyone's paired off for a battle. Bunting ahead of Guesty, but no, Guesty's dropped back there. 18-4 from Guesty last time around, a 17-8 from Bunting. So Guesty may be pushing just a little bit too much for that Clio. Shuren in third place. And then you have the battle with Joker's Thingamajig and Catula. They've caught up again. Have Thingamajig and Catula to the back end of Joker's. Joker's heavy braking into the first corner, knowing he's got the pressure of Thingamajig and Catula. Catula loves to give that car a weave coming out of turn one. He really hangs that back end out. Flashman now under threat from JTX. Can JTX take that position back? As you see, they brake late, the tyres light up, and JTX on the actual rear bumper of Flashman right now. He's looking for that inside line. You can see his intentions lay on the brake, but Flashman just there also. And there's nothing a JTX can do about that Michelin Clio ahead of him. Except for just cling. Oh, yeah, late on the brakes, right back on the rear end of Flashman there. And what a battle they're having for 7th and 8th position. We're on lap 15, the penultimate lap. Meanwhile, Bunting still ahead, starting his final lap of 17.7 last time around from him. Guesty is 17.3. Guesty had the pace, it's just he's on the raggedy edge. Shuren there, 17.4. Joker still ahead, but now looks like Catula has got himself back ahead of Thingamajig. I don't know how long ago that happened. Oh, sorry, oh, it looks like it's here. So there we see, around that corner, Thingamajig under immense pressure from Catula in 6. He's pulled out. He's going to have a look up the inside. They're both late on the brakes, and there's nothing Thingamajig can do about that. Immense move from Catula. Great stuff up the inside and out in front. So 5th place for Catula, chasing down Jokers now as they all start their final lap. Bunting holding that lead from Guesty, with Shuren in a 3rd spot. Ooh, he hasn't learned. He's still hanging that Clio out. And Jokers in 4th. What a race Jokers has had to endure with all of that pressure he's had to take throughout this race. Bunting in the chat saying buzzing for tonight's race. Such a tight track it is. I haven't had much practice. I've got to try and squeeze it in. But Jokers there. He's the man of the race for me. There's been some cracking racing up and down the field, but Joker's having to take up the pressure from Catulu and Thingamajig virtually the whole race. Flashman, unbelievable stuff there, 7th, pulling away from JTX. JTX just catching that Renault there before it steps away from him. Rivixter got himself ahead of Rido, up to 9th, and Rido there in 10th spot. Rido, his fastest lap, I don't know what his fastest lap is, but he's done an 18.9. So he's got the pace of these leads. Oh, I missed it. Hang on, I'll go back. Sorry, Bunting. Too busy. I'm usually good at catching these. So here comes Bunting through the final corner. The first winner of the Clio Cups. And there he goes in 1st. Guesty in 2nd. Shuren brings her home 3rd. He was leading for the first 5 or so laps. A small wheel off, 3rd place. There you go. Take a boo, my son. Just a wheel off and he was down. Jokers taking up the pressure, gets finished ahead for 5th for Catula, 6th for a Thingamajig there in the end. Flashman, a well-deserved 7th. He raced for it today, did Flashman, after being right at the back at the end of lap 1. He come through and he's finished up in 7th with JTX very close behind in the 8th. Rivixter, he had a few incidents with that Clio, and he brings it home for 9th spot there. He's got good pace though, an 18.0 he managed in that race as he crosses the line to take 9th spot. Brilliant stuff. I should write these down. I'll look later. We won't hang around. So Bunting is the first winner of the Clio Cups for the Virtual Racers Club. Oh, well done, and Mr. Bunting. Guesty grabbing a 2nd spot. Oh, you arsehole. Guesty grabbing a 2nd place, and Shuren in 3rd. Tigaboo, my son. Fourth for Jokus. Unbelievable driving from Jokus, soaking up the pressure from Catula and Thingamajig for a majority of the race. That's the position. That's the view that Catula and Thingamajig saw. Majority of. Catula, a great race there. He was up there in a fourth spot, had a mistake, dropped right back, and he come through. Got past a few drivers there to grab fifth in the end. Sixth for Thingamajig in the battle. Tried his hardest, I suppose. Give him a badge. Seventh for Flashman. Great fighting from Flashman from the back. Managing to get 3 spots there in the end. JTX in 8th, getting a handle of the Clio's last minute entry. Not much testing, not much getting his head around the tuning, where most of us have raced in the Sunday Cup for the last few weeks. So we've been playing with tuning for a few weeks. JTX on the back step there, but I'm sure we know he's fast. He'll come through. Rivixter 9th, small mistake putting him back there really. He's got good pace in that car. And Rido finishing in 10th. Bit of consistency from Rido, and he's going to be in the action pretty soon. So hang on, we'll let Rido cross the line and we'll move on to the second race, which is a reverse rolling start of those results. Did I load it up beforehand? I don't think I did. I'm usually good at that. No, yeah, I must have loaded it up. Ah, yeah. And so, going into race 2, we should see Rido on the front of the grid. Well, the rolling start. And Bunting should be at the very back. The pace of Shiren, Bunting and Guesty. It's going to be interesting seeing them trying to get through this field. As you can see, overtaking is not the easiest thing in these Clios. They're very, very close together in speed. Rido there, yeah, Rivixter, JTX, Flashman, Thingamajig. Let's get rid of those big numbers. Thingamajig, Catula, Jokus, Shiren, Guesty in 9th, and Bunting starting in 10th. Let's have a look at Rido there, leading them away around Autopolis Short for the second race this evening in the Clio Cup. And some fine looking cars out there, and that's it, they're throttling up and they're on their way. Rido are leading them off of the grid with Rivixter in 2nd, JTX in 3rd place, Flashman in 4th, with Thingamajig in 5th, Catula in 6th place. Look at them all lining up, coming through the first corner. Rido gets through. Super Stuff in his fast lane Clio with Rivixter very close behind. Rivixter's got good pace. Rivixter has got good pace. He's out of position through to do a mistake. So Rivixter coming closer. He's going for an early move on Rido, but no, Rido reads it. And now JTX gets an opportunity against Rivixter, pulling up closer. Flashman in 4th. Thingamajig there in 5th, fighting off Catula sliding. Oh no, Jokus is off the track. Jokus has had a slide off the track. Thingamajig, Catula. Then you've got Shiren, 3rd place man from race 1, with Guesty in 2nd, and Bunting just behind Guesty. They're so busy battling each other. It's a struggle to get through the field. Oh, and there we go, Catula making a small mistake on the grass, and Catula sees them all come flying past. This is how tight it is. You can't make a mistake. So Catula paying the price for a wheel just off of the road. Thingamajig maintaining that 5th place there, just behind Flashman, who's caught up with JTX again. These two battling out in the first race. Rido still leading from Rivixter as they start their 2nd lap. These two pulling away from this battle here between JTX, Flashman and Thingamajig. But you got Shiren. Now Flashman's having a look at JTX. Is he going to defend? Can Flashman get up the inside? And at the same time, Shiren moving up the inside of Thingamajig. Easy, Tiger. There you go. So JTX still in 3rd, and there's Flashman, but Shiren's through the middle of the pair of them. Shiren slicing through the field like a hot knife through butter. Flashman in 4th, with JTX in 5th, and Guesty now also trying to follow Shiren through. And there, Flashman trying to maintain in 4th, with Guesty in 5th. Bunting also coming through. JTX in 7th. Thingamajig down into 8th position, with Catula in ninth, and Joker's trying to play catch up down there in 10th. What a battle we've got in the middle of the field here then. Thingamajig. So iBunton and Guesty bashing through, and there is Thingamajig just ahead of JTX. JTX missing out there with Cthulhu in ninth. We saw Cthulhu making a small mistake, and now, oh my lord, it looks like JTX has made a mistake, gone wide, and Cthulhu has continued on. Thingamajig in 7th. iBunton is up against Flashman. Flashman's there in 4th. He's holding off Guesty and iBunton. Meanwhile, Rido still leading the way from Rivixter as they start lap 3. This is a crazy race here with this reverse grid. It's really mixed things up, and Rido there is under attack from Rivixter. Shiren in 3rd. Flashman is holding off Guesty and iBunton together. They're all battling it out. Where do we watch? We'll have a look at the lead there as Rivixter just going through, but has he outbraked himself? No, he's held it in place. So Rivixter takes the lead from Rido. Shiren in 3rd. We've got an off. Oh no, Flashman, I believe, has had an off. So Guesty and iBunting move up as position. Guesty in 4th, iBunting in 5th. Thingamajig now up into 6th place with Cthulhu in 7th. Joker's coming back in 8th. Flashman re-getting going again in 9th. And oh no, we saw Joker JTX going off wide earlier on. Holy schmoly. So Rivixter leads from Rido on lap 3, but we've got Shiren. He's got the fastest lap of the race on lap 2 with a 17.902. Rivixter managing a 19.337, and Rido a 20.0. What a cracking race here. Shiren there, you get Guesty in 4th ahead of iBunting. Thingamajig in 6th place ahead of Cthulhu. And Joker's just behind them in 8th place. Flashman in 9th. We saw how he can come back, so one to keep an eye on, but he does seem quite far out of it at the moment, as does JTX. I think he's got issues in that car. And Rivixter, he's under threat from Rido. Rido coming back, trying another late break to take the lead of this race from Rivixter. Shiren sitting just behind them. What a shot down the grid there, you see them all, and there Rivixter maintaining. He's going all the way around the outside, that back end just slightly stepping out, and Rido does retake the lead with Shiren also getting back up there. Rivixter just losing the back end of that Clio, and he loses a little bit of time, and now Rido in the lead ahead of Shiren, but Shiren is hassling the back of Rido, but Rido maintains there. Shiren Guesty now getting up into 3rd ahead of Rivixter, and iBunting just not quite getting through after Rivixter's small mistake. You saw it was a small slide from Rivixter, and that is how much it takes in this new championship. Rido just ahead of Shiren. Shiren trying everything he can to take Rido's place, not out, but to take his place as leader of this race. But no, Guesty around the outside of Shiren, and now Shiren and Guesty stuck in a battle there for 2nd place. Might give Rido a little bit of breathing space, but no, Guesty's come through, but he's lost the car. He's out wide, and Shiren's going to come through. Shiren right. Oof. So Shiren, after Guesty losing his brakes a little bit there, and Rido in 3rd place now. Rivixter is in 4th ahead of iBunting. I think Guesty's unsure whether or not to he's let Rido back through. I believe he thinks that was a little too tough, and that really plays into Rivixter's hands, because Rivixter doesn't have to lift for no one, and now he's having a go at Rido, and he's up the inside. No, he can't quite do it. Rido maintains. iBunting's there as well. He's got himself ahead of Guesty, but Rivixter losing the car slightly there. Oh my word, what's happening elsewhere? You've got Thingamajig ahead of Cthulhu. Joker's playing catch up there, and 9th for Flashman. Shiren leading from Rido, and iBunting is now up into 3rd with Rivixter in 4th, and Guesty down into 5th place after he had to have a little lift for Rido, and he's lost a few positions for it, but they're there, they're just in touching distance. Thingamajig still holding off Cthulhu. Cthulhu getting the sick of the sight of the back of Clio's, and Joker's there catching them up as they battle it out in 8th place. But the battle for 2nd place is nowhere near over yet, with Rido ahead of iBunting. iBunting harrying him. Rido in the chat saying Bunting is going to be good. And there goes iBunting up the inside of Rido there in the final corners, and now iBunting is up into 2nd place ahead of Shiren. Oh-wee! We start lap 6 of 16. So Shiren there leading from iBunting with Rido in 3rd place. Guesty is in 4th ahead of Rivixter. And then 6th place you have Thingamajig, who is ahead of Catula. Is Catula going to make a move into that first corner? I just don't think he's close enough there. Joker's a little further back from him there, 18.7 last time around, with Catula doing an 18.6 and Thingamajig doing an 18.6 also. Thingamajig getting a purple there. Whoa, he's hanging around. And it looks like Thingamajig is on a good lap, pulling away from Catula, trying to catch that battle up ahead of him with Rivixter, Guesty, Rido, iBuntin. Oh, Rido, he's not giving up easily, is he? He's on the back of iBuntin. I told you in that first race he had good pace. It's just about consistency, and his consistency has been a lot better in this second race. So iBuntin in second, Shiren there leading the way from iBuntin. Rido just ahead of Guesty. Guesty being frustrated. Oh, he's seen an opportunity. He's trying to go up the inside of Rido. And there he goes, Guesty up into 3rd place now, ahead of Rido in 4th. And Rivixter's sitting just behind that battle there. Can Rido come back at Guesty down the straight? He's getting the toe, but just not quite enough here at all. Topola short. Gibos screaming out as he heads into that first corner, but he can't just get up. Oh, Guesty's off the track. Guesty is off the track. He's clambering to get back on, and look how many positions he's losing. He's dropped right down to behind Catula in 7th place. Where is Jokers? Let me look. Joker's not that far behind as well, as Guesty gets his composure back behind Catula, who's still behind Thingamajig there. Rivixter is up into 4th behind Rido in 3rd. iBunting and Shiren are leading the way, but Shiren there, the Russian sensation, getting the fastest lap on lap 6 with a 17.788. What a race we have on our hands at the moment, and what a championship. iBunting, the winner of the race 1, Shiren finishing in 3rd place. Rido there in 3rd spot, finishing last in the first race, having an absolute blinder in this one, an 18.7 last time around from him. Oh no, he's late braked into the final corner. Rido, oh Rido, he late brakes into the final corner, and there's Guesty. Guesty thinks, oh yes please. Guesty up the side in 7th, trying to get Rido's 6th place. And poor Rido done so well. We're a halfway point in the race so far. And back there you can see Catula also trying to make a move on Thingamajig. He's up the inside. They're both side by side, and Thingamajig says no, 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 sir. And Catula has to back out of it. Guesty has got himself ahead of Rido. Oh, Rido must have made a small mistake in that first corner, because also Jokus has got past Rido. Poor Rido. Oh, unbelievable. That's what it is, though. One mistake, you've got to be on your game. You've got to sit in that time trial and for an hour, like I did, following my ghost car, just to try and get any of those mistakes ironed out. Shiren then leading the way from iBuntin. These two, quite a chasm of space between them, with Rivixter in 3rd place. Oh, Rivixter there. Look at that. He's got a podium so far. Sticking in there, tenacious. An 18.2 last time around. iBunting getting a 17.7. Shiren a 17.6, so he's bettered his best lap. Thingamajig in 4th. Oh, dizzy times for Thingamajig, just off of the podium. An 18.4 though from him last time around, with Catula doing an 18.0. So Catula is on it at the moment, chasing down Thingamajig behind them. They've got Guesty and a Jokers, with a Rido in 8th, just ahead of Flashman, who's in 9th after we lost JTX. And just on the brakes as Catula was catching up Thingamajig there. I'm trying to, excuse me, I'm trying to sort out that there thing. I don't know where it come from. I've got rid of the so I'm sure I can get rid of the there. But sitting on board with Catula, look at this cracking driving here from Catula, and it looks like Thingamajig has made a small mistake in that corner, giving Catula the opportunity. And I know for a fact that Thingamajig has to lift around this corner. He cannot floor it. Also does Catula though. Oh right, that's interesting to know. I thought they'd all dialed that out, but I couldn't. So Catula still behind Thingamajig there. Shiren leading the way, he's untouchable. Look at him, 17.6 again last time around. iBuntin a 17.6 also, but it's not closing up that gap. 17.5 from Shiren last time around. Lap 10 of 16. Bunting a 17.7. And there's Rivixter. He managed an 18.3. He's got Thingamajig, an 18.3 also. With Catula an 18.8 his last time around, and Guesty on a move, 17.5. He takes the fastest lap of the race. The man has got to fire up his Jaxie, and he is on the move. Joker's in 7th, just ahead of Rido in 8th. Joker's managing a 18.7 last time around, with Rido doing an 18.8, and Flashman there a 19. Oh, Flashman just off on that first corner. It's just so difficult to brake for. You can't see the apex until the last minute. You don't know when to sling it in. You're on the brakes, hoping. But Shiren then, with his string of fastest laps, just got him stolen away by Guesty, who's back there in 6th place. Bunting trying to hunt down Shiren at this point. Rivixter in 3rd place. And this is the battle here, Guesty and Catula. Guesty on the move. He's absolutely flying at the moment. He's going to be looking for an early move on Catula. And Catula probably being held up somewhat by Thingamajig at the moment, it seems. Thingamajig getting away from him though. And Catula looking like a sitting duck down the start straight. It seems Guesty got a good pull out of that last corner. He's getting a bit of a tow from Thingamajig. So we're going to see Guesty nab one from Catula. Catula there, defensive on the inside. He's got it in. Bit twitchy is that Renault, but he stays ahead of Guesty for another corner, as Guesty is on an absolute tear to try and make up some positions, as he is a championship contender this season, as he was in the VGTS, is it, series? I don't need to say the series, because the S stands for the series. The VGT series, recently run. Guesty just coming very close runner-up in that championship. And Shiren then leading the way from Bunting. It looks like a done deal between these two. Just coming to the end of lap 11 of 16. Rivixter seems quite comfortable in that 3rd spot. An 18.2 last time around from him, was Thingamajig doing an 18.7 under pressure from Catula and Guesty at this point. Jokers in 7th, but he's got Rido, 19.4 last time from Rido, and it was an 18.6, so it must have been this lap. Jokers must have made a mistake. A 21.4 from Jokers that lap, you see, on Rido doing a 19.8. Oh, Rido. So Rido on the push there to try and catch up with Jokers. Good luck, Rido, getting past Jokers. He's very difficult. So Shiren leading from Bunting. Rivixter there in 3rd. Oh, Shiren's got back. No, Bunting has now taken the fastest lap. This is how close it is between Shiren, Bunting and Guesty. A 17.4 from Bunting. Rivixter there in 3rd. Thingamajig, oh, he's under pressure from Catula. Catula's got to get a move on, because he's got Guesty sitting right behind him. Will sit on board with the flying Guesty at the moment. He's still in those 17s, whilst Thingamajig and Catula are in low 18s. And he needs to get a move on. He could still touch. You can still see Rivixter, 3rd place, down the road there. Ooh, under braking, he's going for that space there. He's giving Catula a little bit of a nudge. Just out of an accident, I believe, but it's all stayed the same. It gives Thingamajig another bit of breathing space. He pulls away from Catula after Guesty and Catula having that little rub together, we'll call it. And that is far from over, with Jokers in 7th. He did an 18.6 that time around though, with Rido a 19.9. So Jokers getting himself out of dodge and reach from Rido, and Flashman there a 19.1 his last time around, a 19.3 just. So Shiren 17.6 with Bunting chasing him down, 17.8, nothing between them. I think it's only a mistake that's going to change anything between those two. Rivixter not far behind him. He managed a 17.7 and a 17.9. So Rivixter maybe he's a championship contender as well. I'm saying it's all about Shiren, Bunting and Guesty, But Rivixter definitely finding some pace in these Clios. Thingamajig managing a 17.9 as he pulls. Oh, Guesty's got past Cthulhu. I apologise. Let's have a look. When did this happen? Well, a while ago. I apologise, everyone. Oh my word! This is the first corner. I'm sure we saw this. So, oh, did Cthulhu out? Cthulhu looks like he was late on the brakes in that corner, and Guesty straight there, no messing around, up into 5th place. Ahead of Cthulhu, dropping to 6th, and Thingamajig 3 laps to go. With that much space between him and Guesty, can he maintain? Who can say? Rivixter's not too far ahead of Thingamajig as well, but Rivixter on an absolute great pace. Sharon flying. He did a tough lap on lap 11, an 18.0. Where I bunt in and did an 18.6 on lap 10 as well, so they're to-ing and fro-ing, the leaders, but I don't think there's going to be any change between them. Sharon crossing the line, start lap 14. And there is iBunting chasing him down. Rivixter there in 3rd place. And there is Thingamajig, Guesty and Cthulhu all heading down to that first corner also. And behind them, Jokus and Arido. Cthulhu trying to come back at Guesty. Ooh, Thingamajig, a poor lap from him last lap around, an 18.5. And he is starting to get caught by Guesty, who's getting purples. As we're on at lap 14 of 16, tight stuff here. Sharon a 17.6 from him last time, with iBunting an 18.0. So iBunting starting to lose a bit of pace on Sharon. Rivixter still in those 17s. Look at Rivixter go. You put him in a podium position, he suddenly becomes alien-esque, eh? Thingamajig maintaining that 4th, but only just from Guesty, because Guesty is on a push as they drop Cthulhu behind, and here comes Guesty lining up Thingamajig. Let's get on board with Guesty as we see the art of overtaking happening in our front of our very eyes. Guesty in 5th, Thingamajig in 4th. Guesty saying, sod your toe, I don't need it, I'm faster than you anyway. As he tries to get up the side of Thingamajig. No, he's tucked in behind. They're both heavy on the corners. It looks like Thingamajig a little earlier than Guesty on those brakes. And Thingamajig under fret now, an 18.2 last time around for Thingamajig, with Guesty doing a 17.3, the fastest lap of the race. Cthulhu just clinging on to the pair of these. Jokus has pulled away from Arido. And Flashman is not looking likely he's going to catch Arido up unless Arido makes a mistake, or Jokus, or anyone else for that matter. 17.3 from Sharon. He must be thinking, what do I have to do to get the fastest lap around here? iBunting chasing down Sharon, saying, how did you make 2 mistakes in the first race and you haven't made a single one in this race? And Rivixter saying, what position am I in again? Guesty in 4th. Oh, Guesty has made the move. Did we see him make the move on Thingamajig? We did not. We're just about to, though. So, coming around the long sweeping corner, and Guesty getting through that corner a lot faster than Thingamajig. Looking for a way. He's going for the inside into the heavy braking zone for the tight corner there. Or the final corner, should I say. And that was pretty easy for Guesty, getting past Thingamajig. And now Cthulhu will want a piece of that. A 17.8 last time from him. Oh, 18.2, sorry. Thingamajig, a 19.0. Terrible lap from Thingamajig. And an 18.5 from Guesty. Is Thingamajig contemplating a late break into that first corner? No. But he's got to defend from Cthulhu, because Cthulhu fancies that position. They're on the final lap. Oh dear, what happened to Guesty? It looks like Guesty making a small mistake into that first corner. Maybe he outbraked himself. So Guesty looks like No, just a bit slow for Guesty, really. Maybe he had to heavy brake to save himself. Thingamajig then up into 4th. Catula making it through to 5th with Guesty in 6th. Joker's holding on to that 7th ahead of Rido, and Flashman crossing the line to start his final lap. There is Shiren 14-13 ahead of I Buntin. Rivixter maintaining that 3rd place, but this is the battle. Thingamajig in 4th. Catula looking up the inside. He fancies that 4th place ahead of Thingamajig. Thingamajig, it's not his strongest corner, this one, but he stays just ahead of Catula coming out of it. Catula's got a faster clear though under him as Thingamajig just clings on, and now there Catula's having a look into the final corner, and oh my lord, I think, oh dearie me, oh, and we've missed the, hang on, we've got to do all this. So whilst that's happening, Shiren comes around the final corner to take 1st place. Congratulations, Shiren. Well done. I Bunting grabs 2nd, and here comes Rivixter for a podium. 3rd place. Take a boo, my son. Guesty grabs that 4th. After we saw the coming together with a Thingamajig ahead of Catula. I think Catula letting Thingamajig go through. Catula in 6th. Joker's finishing in 7th. Arido coming around for 8th place, and that is where we will pause it. My word, what a race. So Shiren easily wins that one. Oh yeah, nice shot. So Shiren takes the win in the 2nd race of the VRC Clio Cup, and a cracking win it was as well. Dominant. 14-13. I Buntin having an absolute corker there, but only managing 2nd spot, but he got the win in the 1st race. So all's gravy in the, what is he, a grid approved Renault team. A Rivixter, a fantastic 3rd spot from Rivixter on the podium for the M&M Clio. Guesty getting a great 4th there in the end from Thingamajig and Catula, battling it out. 5th place for Thingamajig, and Catula grabbing 6th. Jokus down in 7th, but we know he's got better pace than that. Rido in 8th. He was there, leaves up with the leaders for a long time. Consistency, Mr. Rido. And you are going to be fighting for podiums and wins, I am telling you now. Fast boy. So, and Flashman there in 9th. Also, great pace from Flashman. It's just about consistency. I'm the same, guys. I'm not judging you guys. You look at mine, they're all over the place. I mean, mainly in the 18s, but it's low 18, high 18, a couple in the 17s, then a 19. So it's just, and then you look at Shiren's, and they are pretty much the same all the way through. So that is what it takes. So a big, huge congratulations to Shiren I Bunting, the winners from round 1. And catch us again for round 2 that will be at Tsukubu for 24 laps, I think. Very short track. I was your commentator and your broadcaster, Bill Loney, and thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time, I think Sunday night, for the HPEX round 3, I think, Monza WC. Catch you later, guys. Bye. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Go to our website, www. How many W's did I say? Let me start again. www.virtualracersclub.co.uk. And I'll catch you all later. Alright then, bye.